Every time a wave of layoffs hits, the career advice industry lights up. Learn AI, get certified, pivot to data science, take this course, buy this boot camp, and most of it is useless. Not because the skills are wrong, but because the advice assumes a world that no longer exists. Welcome back to Code Sunset. I am Ethan Cole, and today we are talking about career pivots. Not the kind LinkedIn influencers sell you, the kind that actually work. Here is the problem with most pivot advice. It treats your career like a menu. Pick a new item, retrain, and start over. But that is not how careers work in practice. Nobody goes from senior backend engineer to data scientist in 6 months because they took an online course. The people who actually make successful transitions do something completely different. They move sideways, not diagonally. Let me explain what I mean. The most successful career pivots in tech are not dramatic reinventions. They are adjacency moves. You take what you already know and extend it into a space where that knowledge becomes rare and valuable. A front-end developer who understands design systems does not pivot to UX by getting a certificate. They start making design decisions within their existing role. They become the person who bridges engineering and product. And suddenly they are doing work that no AI tool can replicate. Because it requires context that lives in their head, not in a code base. This is what the career advice industry gets fundamentally wrong. They sell you skills. But what actually matters is positioning. The difference between a developer who writes code and a developer who shapes what gets built is not a certification. It is a series of small, deliberate moves over months, sitting in meetings you were not invited to, asking why, not just how, understanding the business model, not just the tech stack. And this matters more now than it ever has, because AI is compressing the execution layer. We talked about this in episode 4 with the junior developer death spiral. The bottom of the value chain is disappearing. Writing code, running tests, configuring deployments, debugging standard issues. These tasks are being absorbed by tools that cost a fraction of a salary. If your entire career is built on execution, you are standing on a shrinking island. But here is what most people miss. The layer above execution is not management. That is the other piece of bad advice. Not everyone should become a manager. And frankly, most engineering managers are doing work that is just as vulnerable. Scheduling stand-ups, writing status reports, relaying information between teams. That is coordination, not leadership. And AI handles coordination very well. The real pivot is into the judgment layer. The space where you are making decisions that require understanding trade-offs the machine cannot see. Where you are integrating domain knowledge with technical knowledge in ways that no model has been trained to do. This is what episode 5 was about. The skills AI cannot replace. Systems thinking, business translation, risk intuition. These are not job titles. They are capabilities, and they compound over time. Let me give you a concrete example. Shopify did not just cut headcount. They restructured around what Toby Lutka called AI first principles. The people who survived were not the best coders. They were the people who could look at a problem and determine whether it needed a human, an AI tool, or a combination of both. That is judgment. And it is the single most valuable skill in the current market. Now, how do you actually make this pivot? Step 1. Audit your current work. Spend 2 weeks tracking every task you do. Categorize each one. Is it execution, coordination, or decision-making? If more than half your time is execution, you are in the danger zone. Not because you are bad at your job, but because you are doing work that is getting cheaper every quarter. Step 2. Find the adjacent space. Look at the problems your team or company is struggling with that sit at the boundary between technical and non-technical. Product strategy, system architecture decisions, build versus buy evaluations, compliance and risk assessment. These are the spaces where technical knowledge combined with business understanding creates something AI cannot easily replicate. Step 3. Start doing the work before you have the title. This is the part nobody tells you. You do not get promoted into judgment work. You take it on. You start contributing to architecture reviews. You write the document that frames the trade-off between two approaches. You attend the business review and ask a question that shows you understand the customer problem, not just the technical solution. This is how adjacency moves work. You expand your surface area until the new role is already yours in practice. Step 4. Build externally. Write about what you are learning, not tutorials. Perspectives. The career advice world is saturated with how-to content. What is rare is someone who can articulate why one approach is better than another in a specific context. That is the content that gets you noticed. That is the content that creates opportunities you cannot find on job boards. The career pivot nobody talks about is not a dramatic leap. It is a slow, deliberate expansion of what you are known for, moving from the person who builds to the person who decides what gets built. And the window to start is now. Because every month that AI gets better, the execution layer shrinks further, and the people who waited too long to move will find that the island they were standing on is gone. Next episode, we are talking about the freelance economy, and why the race to the bottom is accelerating faster than anyone predicted. I am Ethan Cole, and this is Code Sunset.